But the story goes that like anybody who tried to find the gold mine ended up dead in the mountains out there. So it was pretty interesting.
Oh, cool. I mean, not cool that they died, but
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pubstomp, a podcast about games, TV shows, movies, and pop culture in general. Every episode, we discuss topics that we find interesting. Come join our shenanigans.
hey, welcome to another episode of Pubstomp Podcast. Here we have Mexy with us today,
Yo.
and Tyler,
Hey,
and myself, Trigoman. And today we have some stories to talk about, given that it's October and it's the spooky month of the year. But before we get into it, this week we had the VP debate, and I just wanted to point out that the fly on Pence got a lot of airtime, man. Like, forget the political stuff. It even has his Twitter account. Did you guys see that? Did you guys catch that?
I didn't.
You didn't? Oh, man.
I did see it.
Yeah, it even has its own domain name. It's like flywillvote.com. So it's just hilarious. I just think it's the small things, man. I know like political stuff can get a little bit stressful, and I'm glad we can find humor in certain things, including a fly.
Sometimes it's fun to be a fly on the wall.
Hey, in this case, it's Pence's
Fly in the hair.
yeah, white. That guy has the whitest hair. It's like crazy. Yeah.
The entire time I was watching that, I was like, what would be crazy? I don't know if you guys ever seen Parasyte, but like, what would be crazy if suddenly his head turned into a parasite? Like, ate the fly?
Oh, the anime Parasite?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay.
Like on live TV, like, oh,
It ate the fly.
the fly. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, and that's I didn't think about it, but
You know, man, that's...
You got an imagination.
you got something else going on over there.
Hey, man,
Oh,
I'm just
man,
on
oh,
topic
man.
for the episode today, okay?
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Well, I guess in in that regard, is there any? I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, like on to real news. Anything else that is going on right now?
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys heard, there was a little experiment with opening theaters in the last couple weeks, or a month, I guess. September, that was almost a month ago.
How did that go?
Very poorly. So they released Tenet, and like it made 300 million worldwide. Not terrible. Like, it's pretty respectable. But like, this is a Christopher Nolan film. They're expecting $1 billion. And then seeing how that turned out, they've decided, hey, how about we don't release movies this year?
So what's gonna happen? They're just gonna shut down? Like movie theaters?
Basically, they're just re-releasing some movies. Some movies are they're hoping will still release. So you have Wonder Woman moved from October to December. There's some other movies here and there that are still releasing. But like all the big superhero movies like Black Adam, The Batman, The Flash, they've all got pushed either to 2021 or 2022.
Oof.
Black Widow got released it was supposed to come out this year towards the end of the month. I think close to the end of the year. And then now it's until May, right at the beginning of the summer movies. So there's a lot of like, ooh.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, honestly, man, we're in a pandemic. I don't blame people. Don't go to the movies. Like just don't
2020 strikes again.
Just chill out.
Yeah, people are also complaining because, like, I don't know if you guys ever saw the Pixar was going to release Soul at the end of this year, around November.
No, I didn't. I don't know what that is.
It's basically, I don't really know, but it's basically like a jazz musician dies and you get to see his soul do stuff in the afterlife or limbo.
Uh-huh.
That was slated for November. Now that's coming to Disney Plus, but it's not a $30 Disney Plus movie. It's just you have Disney Plus, you get the movie.
So that makes you go happy.
Yeah, man. Like,
it's interesting, right? Because like I guess Mulan had about I think a $200 million like what the total that they gained from that. But again, that's not what they were expecting.
Yeah, they're expecting more, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, they were. That movie was probably going to be slated to make like at least close to a billion, three quarters,
Yeah.
or three-quarters of a billion maybe. So
I mean, Netflix makes movies and they only show them on Netflix. So that model does work, right? Like, I get it that like the traditional model is make a movie, show in the theaters, make a lot of money up front.
I think the quality is different though. I don't know if you were compared like a Netflix movie to like a movie theater movie.
Like which one? I don't know, man. I've seen pretty crappy movies recently. In the past few years, I haven't seen a good movie in the
I'm
theaters.
just talking like CGI things like that.
I guess
Like, you could tell the difference between like a Netflix movie.
Okay, I
Movies like
guess.
6 Underground, fantastic. That movie, you could see it, right? Like they spent some money on it.
Yeah,
Which we had an episode on, by the way.
yes, that's true.
Do that. But other movies, not the greatest. I think where Netflix really shines is series. I think that's their bread and butter.
yeah. But I'm saying like it works. Like they make movies and they're not terrible. Like
And they've been getting better. We also talked about that.
yeah.
This is
They've
true.
been improving.
Cool. Well, I guess I look forward to movies in the theater in 2022,
2021.
21. I don't know, man.
You look, man,
Too soon.
just hope. Hope. If Star Wars taught us anything, is that you hope, and then maybe you just become a Jedi. Probably.
Okay.
Actually, that didn't teach us that at all. Like they started it, and then they were like, let's forget about that plot point.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's still salty. Just throwing it out there.
Well, anyway, well, that's that. But anyway, for today, we're talking about, we decided to talk about, I guess, urban legends and like anecdotal experiences with the, I guess, paranormal or like things that are not right or they could be a little spooky. And Tyler will kick us off with some story or some anecdotal that he has.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you said we were going to talk about urban legends, and then I freaked out because I didn't really know anything spooky. And I don't have a lot of experience with the paranormal. But then I remembered the time I've been the most scared in my life. I was a little kid, and my dad took me to his friend's house. I grew up in Wisconsin until like the 4th grade. So I was younger than 4th grade. And my dad took me to his friend's house in Michigan, and his friend thought it would be really funny to take me to this haunted railroad track. Yeah. So we show up. It's like late at night, midnight or whatever. And we show up, and you park in this parking lot, and then you look down this like railroad track, and it looks normal, and then it gets to a certain time at night, and there's this really bright light, and I should send it to you and we'll drop the link in the whatever description.
The show notes, yeah.
I'm good at this. But anyways, so we look at the light, and it's like glowing and flickering, and then my dad's friend starts telling me the story about how that light is the lantern of a train conductor that died once, and I don't know a lot of the details because there's many different stories about how that light came to be. One was I think it was he was a brakeman for and I don't really know what they do other than operate brakes for trains, but a brakeman on a train. He was killed trying to stop 2 trains from colliding or something like that. And his ghost was there to haunt you. And, my dad's friend had a whole lot of fun scaring the shit out of me.
Wait, is this the one that like the lights go left and right across the like next to the train tracks?
Yeah, I think so. Possibly. I don't know.
Oh.
There might be more of these.
Dude, I got chills listening to this story, man. Like, I am not gonna lie to you.
It's creepy. Now, I can ruin it with some science if you like.
It's so good. I mean, hey, you gotta debunk it. What do you think it was?
So later on in life, I that haunted me for a while, and so you asked me for urban legends, and I think the real reason is this story, because I avoid scary things all my life, and it might be because of this one moment.
Yeah. Don't blame you.
But my dad and I were talking about it the other night, and then I'm big into understanding things, so I started looking into the science behind it, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, Dad, I got to look this up. I got to figure out why this is. Turns out those lights are headlights from a freeway. The reason why they reflect there is something called a atmospheric inversion, where
That sounds
the
like
yeah
science making things up.
yeah
Yeah,
it
sounds like
does
sci-fi right now.
it
I
does
just like
yeah. So a Michigan right that's actually on the Wikipedia page. There's a guy, he's like a ghost hunter or something, and he says, you can believe that they're headlights, but that's just not as fun, not as much fun.
yeah.
So I mean, he's right, it's not as much fun, but I needed to know. But anyways, atmospheric inversion, basically the hot air doesn't rise in that specific area,
Uh-huh.
and it makes the lights reflect differently, somehow. I didn't read too much into it, but there are explanations for it.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of fun to believe the ghost stories
I mean, that's
and
cool.
scare
That's
the
cool
crap
either
out of
way,
me.
right? That's cool either way. That's pretty cool. And you saw it, and I guess you did, right? In real life, you went there, you saw
Yeah,
it. Like, holy
it's
crap.
it's very bright, and it changes because it reflects the lights off of a nearby freeway, but I think
Hmm.
the freeway goes perpendicular to it, which is why people don't understand why the freeway, there's no lights directly uh, straight down the train track, because they come
Gotcha.
from the other direction. And but depending on like what lights are coming down that freeway, it looks differently. So like if it was police lights or something like that, the
But
lights would be different colors and stuff.
no, that's cool, man. That's pretty cool. Dang.
Yeah, I don't believe the
But yeah.
science there. I would like to preface this by saying that I am a scientific person. I believe all the science. I just like to believe paranormal just makes the world more interesting. So
It definitely does. It scarred me for a while.
Yeah.
I feel you. You know what that reminds me of? I know they have this in the US as well, but there's in Mexico, there's like a little hill that supposedly if you put your brakes, it's next to like a train track as well. If you put your car in like neutral, your car will get pushed over by a ghost of little kids that got run over by a
Oh my
train.
god.
Um, yeah, and people like they would put their cars there. I got chills because I'm alone in my house.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I'm getting chills too, and I'm not alone here, man. I was like, oh,
This is a bad idea recording this at this hour. Anyways, they did like a bunch of different scientific things, and like they would put like fingerprint powder on the back of the car.
oh my god.
Oh
And then
no.
like after the car like went over the hill, and then you could see like all these little
Oh
handprints.
my god.
And like they figured out, or like the scientific explanation was that the handprints that you see are just people, because obviously it's the trunk of a car, so you're opening and closing your car, right?
Oh, okay. That actually
it's-
makes sense.
So it's the residual oils of your hand. And then like they did like a surveying on what supposedly is a hill, and then they find out that while it looks like it's going up, it's actually downhill, so that's why the car goes down.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
But what I think is that there's little kids pushing you over.
No. Oh
The
my
only
God.
reason I know that it's probably not true is because it's the guy who did the experiments is Jaime Maussan.
Okay.
And he's been disproven so many times.
Yeah. He's a famous, I would say, like
Paranormal.
Mexican ufologist or paranormal.
Yeah. He's like a big deal like in the paranormal world, but he used to be, and then now he's basically, everybody's like, yep, this guy's a fraud. Everything he's done is fraudulent.
I think a lot of stuff in the 90s was pretty like, because cameras weren't good. So
True.
yeah.
But sorry, it reminded
Cool.
me of that.
No,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
since you're at it, like, hey, why don't you tell us your story, Mexy?
All right, so I'm gonna go into very lightly into two things that I like love, and I love cryptids. Cryptids are like my favorite thing, like the Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot. I wish was real, and I'm pretty sure it is real. I'll fight you if you say otherwise. But like probably my favorite one, and then this goes back to the 90s, was the Chupacabra. Like it was some like alien / laboratory. Like it has a lot of origins, right? Depending on where like region of the country it was, or like the world, I guess, because there's some in other different parts of the world. But basically, like you would find all this livestock all over the place, and like it was drained of all its blood, and people couldn't figure out what's going on. And there's like videos online of people like saying they would find like they saw the chupacabras, and like you see like these things with red eyes hidden in the trees and stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And like one day it just disappeared. Nobody knows what happens. There's like you see every once in a while somebody claiming that the chupacabra is loose again, and nobody knows.
Because they claimed it was bats, right? But bats cannot like suck a cow dry or a goat dry, right?
Right. So the real scientific explanation, and they've done this several times, is that they left the carcass in the middle of the road, and then like carrion and wild animals would eat the dead carcass. And like apparently maggots and stuff are really efficient at clearing out blood and organs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you would find these things.
But you don't buy it.
I don't know. Like I said, I like to believe that it's real just because it makes the world more interesting. But like the descriptions of the chupacabra like varies, right?
Yeah, it's all different.
Yeah. Like some of them are like, like a vampire kind of looking thing. I've seen some stories where it's like a hairless dog looking thing with giant fangs.
Like a chihuahua.
Kind of.
That's the one I've seen.
I think the classic one that I remember seeing was the alien, like a green alien with spikes on its back. I don't know if you remember that one too.
There's a few of them. We can probably find some links and post them on the description to show. But yeah.
Yeah, and like it had like these big red eyes. It's crazy, like just the different descriptions from around the world. Kind of like how the Yeti exists, or like Bigfoot. Bigfoot around the world has been described very differently. So like there's the south, like in the Pacific Northwest, there's like the hairy giant guy. But like if you go into the south, it's also a very hairy thing. But it's called a stink ape because apparently it smells.
Stink ape.
Yeah. In the Himalayas, they have like the Yeti, right? So like a white haired ape primate thing. So like that's what I find interesting about cryptids, because not just they exist in different areas of the world, and they all have their own like things. And like Native American culture also has been like they've found like people talk about them in Native American culture, so that's kind of weird too.
Interesting.
So, yeah, that's that. That's my explainable stuff.
Oh man.
What about you two?
Cool. So I'll jump in. My stuff is not as like scary. It's more like, well, I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. So I have a daughter, and she's 3 now, and she has an imaginary friends. And one day she's talking about her friend Melody, and Melody is a character in some cartoon. So I was like, okay, whatever, it's fine. And it's like, oh, Melody, come here. And then so I pretend to like, okay, I'm grabbing Melody's hand and we're gonna go walk into whatever place, and then we talk to Melody and she's there. And one day we're chilling in the master bedroom, and the door is closed, right? And we were just sitting there watching TV, and the door flings open. Like nothing opened it. It just flings open, and then my daughter says, "Oh, it must be Melody. She wants to come inside." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I was like, and I'm like, "Okay, Melody, come inside." So I don't know if it was like it was probably wind pressure or something like that, but that's pretty much my anecdotal thing.
Did the room suddenly get cold too while you're at it?
I kind of like shit my pants a little bit, but. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it had happened without her saying anything, I wouldn't have cared. But she said, "Oh, it's Melody. Just come inside." And
Melody's
I was like,
such a creepy ghost name too. I don't know why. So innocent. I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know, but people say that kids can see stuff that we can't see, but it's their imagination. I don't know, but it's that is the creepy thing that's happened around my daughter. Anyway, that's all. That's what I got for you guys.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Like every time like a horror movie you watch something, it's like, oh, the little kid see something. It's if I have kids, I'm never having a baby monitor. Like, good luck, kid. Because then the moment I hear a voice from it,
they're so useful though.
Yeah. Or the ghost.
Yeah, nothing crazy with the baby monitor, but that it's just that like she hasn't talked about her in a while, so I think it was definitely her imagination, and it's gotta be like air pressure or something opened it up, but it opened as if somebody pushed it, like not slightly, like fling open. So it's like, ooh, that was strange.
Maybe Melody was just passing through. She'll be back.
Yeah. She'll be back. Oh my God.
No.
Oh man.
Tyler, what?
Cool.
I mean, I could add like when I was a kid, we're like, and anybody who shows up to my parents' house swears that place is haunted, because like there was a lot of like weird things that happened when we were a little kid, like, and like you can explain it. Like one of the big things that used to happen, like my sister used to, well, it wasn't my sister's room, it was like a room that we had in the house, and basically there was like an old, you guys remember the old school stereos that you people used to have, like it had like the 2 speakers and like the disc drive and all that.
Yeah.
And like in the middle of the night for like a week straight, that thing would just suddenly started turning on, like super loud.
Oh my God.
And like nobody, like we checked that, like maybe it had a timer or like an alarm clock or something, and we could never find one, like we couldn't figure it out. I get scared thinking about it, because I remember this vividly. This is like super scary. And
it would just turn on loudly in the middle of the night.
It would just turn on loudly in the middle of the night, just like some random like AM FM channel. I don't remember which one it was.
Oh,
Radio Digital. Sorry, that's not
Sonora.
That's a reference only through would understand. So anyway, it just happened for like a week, like on and off. And I remember like it happened a couple times after that too, but like we can never figure it out. And then like in the middle of the night, we would just hear like footsteps coming on, like up the stairs. So like my house is a 2-story house, which is very uncommon for where we're from. So like you could just hear footsteps like creaking up the stairs, and it was like the creepiest thing. And then they would stop and then just go back down. And then I was like, okay. And it just happened like once. Like you would hear the steps go up and then come back down. And we're just like, what the and like I have so many things that happen in that house too. Like we started affectionately calling the ghost, look, we called it a ghost, but like we started affectionately calling the ghost George. So, I don't know
gave
why.
It a name. No.
Yeah, we did. And up to this day, we still think George is there. Like we don't like try to like, hey guys, our house is haunted, da da da. It's just things happen in the house, and we're just like, and all of us had weird things happen in that house. Like even outside of our family. Like I remember when I was younger, my mom, we were gonna go see, I think, The Matrix, and we were looking out, like, and my mom's like, you gotta change into pants, because I was wearing shorts, and I guess he couldn't go watch The Matrix in shorts. So my mom's like, you gotta go wear pants. So I'm like, okay. I ran upstairs to my room. My cousin was with me, and then we're like, okay, where is it? And she's like, in your drawers. And then we opened the drawers, nothing in there. And we're like, okay. Like I was like, Mom, there's nothing in my drawers. Like, what do you mean? She's like, it's in the drawers. Check it. Like she was mad. Like at that point she was mad, right?
Yeah.
And like we opened the same drawers and pants were there.
Oh
and
my
it was
God.
just, yeah, it was the scariest thing. Because my cousin was there too, and he's just like, did that really just happen? And I was like, yeah. And I was basically like, I looked at him like, I told you, man, weird stuff happens here. And like, so like, ever since then, like we like, I don't try to understand what happened. Sure, I could have pulled the wrong drawer maybe, I don't know. It's been a long time, but like, I could go on the weird stuff that happened in the house.
That's interesting. Oh man.
Maybe we'll do another urban legends, and I'll lay down some more stories from my house.
Hey man, October has 4 weeks. We're halfway there, so maybe we can do one more if this goes well.
Yeah.
Cool.
You guys got any other ones?
Yeah. Tyler, you got some more? That was pretty. The cool first story was pretty cool.
It's true.
I don't know if the second one's as personally exciting, but so I did the one. I like symmetry, so I did the one from where I grew up, and then the second one I have is the Lost Dutchman gold mine, which is here in Arizona.
Uh-huh.
So this one, apparently, I don't know much about this. I don't want to say it. I don't want to. Whatever. I don't want to mislead you, but I'll give you the cliff notes. Basically, there was a German guy, German immigrant. He was looking for gold, and he struck gold. He found a gold mine in somewhere in the Superstition Mountains. So he found a gold mine, and he mined it for I don't know how long he mined it, but I think some of the legends vary. But basically, some say like the local indigenous people didn't like him being there, so they ran him out of the area, and eventually one day he dies, and he didn't leave the location to his kids, but he left like a treasure map with a bunch of clues. There's like 30, 50, there's a lot of clues. And when I was a kid, my dad would take me hiking out there, and I think it was just a trick to get me hiking, but he would print out all the clues.
That's cool.
We actually found some of them. Some of the clues were like a rock shaped like an eagle. I think I remember us finding one that looked like that. And then it's called it's in the Peralta Trails. I forget his name. His name was like carved into a rock. I don't remember his last. It might have been Peralta, but anyways, there was something carved into a rock. I think we found that one once, and we found a bunch of them. But the story goes that like anybody who tried to find the gold mine ended up dead in the mountains out there. So it was pretty interesting.
Oh, cool. I mean, not cool that they died, but cool that you guys went out searching for the clues.
My cousin and I went out, and he thought the story was interesting. He read about it, so we tried to go out and find it. But who knows if it's really out there? It's fun to think about.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know about this either. I lived in Arizona for like ever, and I didn't know this. Oh man,
who doesn't like a good gold mine story?
Ooh, okay, well, I'll jump in. I have another. I mean, all I have is more anecdote stuff. That it's just mildly creepy stuff that I've experienced in our previous house when our first daughter was a baby. Like my wife and I didn't sleep that much, so because we were still like new parents trying to figure things out. And we didn't have a baby monitor at the time, so it was just like, if she was crying, we would hear her crying. We would hear our daughter crying upstairs, and we would go up and get her. And then sometimes we would like hear a baby crying, and then we would go upstairs, and our baby, and then my daughter would be asleep. So we would think like, oh, maybe she cried and went back to sleep. And like if my wife went to the store or it happened to us both when we were not both at home, if that makes sense. Like she was at the store and it happened to her, and I was at home, or she was at home and it happened to her. But one time our daughter was sleeping downstairs, and then we heard a baby cry, and our daughter was not crying, and we both looked at each other and we were like, did you hear that? Like, because it's just like, it's either like some other baby in the neighborhood was crying or something else is going on. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's not.
Hear me out.
Hear you out.
What if it was Melody?
No. My God. We moved so far. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it could have been like we were both sleep deprived, or it could be like, because sometimes you do, like, it's normal to hear like an echoing, like when you're a new parent, like I read about this, like it's normal to like hear your baby crying when they're not crying, because you're just like so tired and like you hear them. But the fact that we both heard the baby crying at the same time, and it was like a faint baby crying, like that was weird. Like it's like, because it could be my imagination, and that's fine, like it's okay, it happens. But it's like the baby was on the couch, we both looked at each other, and I was like, that's weird. So anyway, that's all. I don't, yeah, baby crying when you're not expecting is pretty creepy. Because did you guys? Yeah,
man.
Any crying really is kind of scary. Like,
I guess that's true.
And like zombie babies, that's where I draw the line.
Zombie babies.
Like there was a movie or a TV show, it was Z Nation. They did a zombie baby. Screw that. I'm out. I never watched another second of that show.
they did that in not The Walking Dead. There was one of the Snyder's movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
That's crossing a line. Messing with babies like that. Nope.
Yeah.
Anything really with children is scary.
Yeah, anything with children is scary.
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead? They did a baby.
They did this on. Yeah. There was a chick that was had a baby and she dies. And then like the guy pulls the covers from the baby, and then it's like zombie baby. Ah!
Oh my god. Nah, man.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a no for me, dog.
I'm gonna mess with Chucky.
Oh man, Chucky's rough. Oh, maybe we can do a scary movie episode next week or something like that.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, but speaking of crying, like I guess Mexy and I are both from the same background. Like Llorona is pretty, like, is like, I don't know, if folklore tale that you would say. Because
every legend.
Yeah, everybody has one, and it doesn't make sense because that only happened in one place. So she can't be all over the place, right? It doesn't make any sense. But like
I don't know, somewhere, and then one person to another, and then this is how the real things happen.
Yeah, because my mom swears that like Llorona would go and like visit them at their house. Like in the summer they would sleep outside, and they claimed that like they would hear. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Let's back up. Tyler, do you know what the Llorona is?
Oh, wait.
No, I have no idea.
Oh, you don't know what Llorona is? Oh,
I have no
okay.
idea.
I'm so sorry, man. Yeah. You want to explain it, Mexy?
Yeah. I got this.
Yeah.
So basically what La Llorona translate to is the crying woman. And the urban legend basically is there was this woman, she had kids, and the reason why something happens varies between person to person, but basically her husband goes away and she was kind of jealous. Depending on how this goes, she was kind of jealous of that because the husband really, really loved the kids for some strange reason. Well, not for some strange reason. Obviously, parents love their children, right?
Oh, that's the one you heard? Oh, man, that's rough. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like, apparently, like, she was really jealous of the children dying. There's other ones where, like, she really, really loved her children. But basically what ends up there's variations of the story. The more heartbreaking one is that the kids go into a river at some point and basically they drown to death, and like this woman is so distraught that her ghost every night. Oh my god, I got creeped out.
Oh, I know, man. It's like it's like I think that is the crux of the story. Like I think she ends up like drowning her kids. Like that is, I think, in all the stories, why she does it varies, but she ends up drowning her kids in a river, and then she regrets it, and then she cries like "Ay, mis hijos," like that is the like all my kids, like, or whatever it's called. But that like that phrase makes my skin tingle, man, because it's like growing up, your mom's scared me with that shit, man. Like
it's scary. The scary part though is like she cries until she finds a child, and if she finds a child, she'll drown that child.
Oh jeez.
Right, because it's her child, right? Like, or like she's jealous of these children being alive because it could be. So like it's every kid, like if you're from like any kind of Hispanic, Latin American background, you know this story because it's told to all of us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
they used to scare you, man.
yeah, and then like if you live close to like where Trigo and I are from, there's a river and then there's like canals everywhere. So you like people would use it like, if you go out to the canal, you could hear it in the middle of the night asking looking for your children. It's like, oh god, like
Yeah.
So is this like a listen to your mother story? Like
no,
listen to your mother or else, or no?
I mean, it's
No.
supposedly a real thing. Like, it actually did happen.
Yeah. There's no anecdote, like a lot of like urban legends or like stories, right? Like, oh, if you don't listen to your mom, like, somebody's gonna come and get you or whatever, right? This story is like pure malice. Like this happened.
Just pure fear.
Yeah. So a lot of like urban legends or like folklore stories, they're not like, oh, if you don't listen to your parents, this is gonna happen. A lot of them are just like, this happened, this creature, ghost, spirit, exists. If you're found in that moment by this thing, you're dead.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Like it just exists. And like
There's not even a way out.
no.
Yeah.
Well, like in that one, I guess it's like don't go in the middle of the night to the river, I guess. Don't go skinny dipping. That's the folklore. There's a movie that came out recently about this.
I haven't watched it. Is it worth watching?
My mom said it was terrible. So my mom
Okay.
like lives for this stuff. Like she watches any horror movie. So like whenever I want to like, hey, was this good? I just go ask her, how was that? And she's like, yeah, it was all right. I was like, okay.
Oh man, cool. I guess, but now that we know what it is, but yeah, just to like finish that like statement, what I had, like my mom, when they were kids, they would sleep outside, and then they said my mom and my uncles would say that some lady dressed in white would be walking by there crying, like saying like "Ay, mis hijos," and then they would go. That lady would go and hug them, and they said that they would hide underneath the covers, and then they would take a peek and they could see like the lady wasn't touching the floor, like she was just floating. Oh my god, on my skin. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm like, could have been just a homeless person, like. But anyway, that's my mom's interpretation of La Llorona. But anyway, that's it. I don't know.
My mom and my aunts have a very similar story about where they live,
Mhm.
where they used to live. So where they used to live is a very big city. It's called Mexicali. Mexicali is like the capital of that state.
Yeah.
And they used to live in like the old part of the city. So like it was like dirt roads and things like that. And basically in the middle of the night they said they could hear like a lady walking down the street, like dressed in white. And like they never said if it was like supposed to be the Llorona, but it was just like this lady just like looking for her children as well. It was like, dude, like,
Yeah. Yeah, man.
this is how ingrained it is, right? Like we're like 30 and like we talk about this stuff and like we could just feel it in our skin, like our skin like gets goosebumps because like it's not like fond stories, right? Like,
yeah, it's like it's part of our culture, and it's like it's not, you don't mess around with this stuff, man. And
yeah.
I look, I'm a man of science too. Like I want to make sense of everything, but there's some stuff that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I just don't question it, like Mexy says. Like, just let it be. We don't know everything.
I think it helps because like I don't know if you had the same experience, but when I was a kid, like when we would have parties as a big family, you always have like a fire pit, and like they're always like your parents and your dad or whatever, like drinking at the fire pit with all your uncles and stuff. And there was always some point in the middle of the night where they just start talking about the stories.
I know, man. They wait till very late. It's like, guys, why didn't you do this when there was like sunlight?
Yeah, they just start talking about the stories. They tell you about like when we were children, this used to happen. There's all this scary stuff, like the stories of their like parents and their like, so like it was a very like like olden tradition. Like you tell the stories of your forefathers.
Yeah.
So you're just sitting there like. So I don't know if you guys had that same.
Yeah, I think I remember like going camping and my cousins would tell stories around the campfire. I think that's pretty that transcends culture, I think.
Yeah.
This isn't camping. This is just party in the like. It's a birthday party, you know.
And then
it's
like all of a sudden everybody's
3
chilling out. I
a.m.
was like, hey, ¿te acuerdas? Like, do you remember when this? Like, oh my goodness, why are we talking about this now? But I want to listen. All right, let's go.
It's like a party. Everybody was having a good time, and then suddenly somebody gets the feeling like we must tell the stories of our forefathers and the
scary
fights
story.
with the spirit world. And it's like, and you're like 5 to like, even when you're 15, you still hear these stories, right? Like it never goes away. Like even now, we're telling these stories to each other, right? So it's just like, it's just so ingrained in us. Like this just happened. Your forefathers had to deal with this too, and this is their stories. And I think that's like so cardinal in us. We're like, oh, like I can't explain it, but I can't like not like believe it, just in case.
Man. Yeah, I feel so bad for you, Mexy. You're by yourself. You just
I know, man.
keep
I
a
don't
light
even
on.
know where my dog is.
Oh my god. Well, anyway, I guess I don't know if do you have any more stories? Should we wrap it up?
I think we can wrap it up, and maybe we'll do another one.
Yeah, we'll
before
do
the
another
month's
one.
end.
Yeah.
Because this was pretty cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up here, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
See you guys.
Later.
Thank you for listening. If you like this podcast, please give us a star, heart, or leave us a review. You can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube at Pubstomp Podcast. That's PUBSTOMPOD cast. For more episodes, go to anchor.fm/Pubstomp. Music provided by 99 Lives. Credits are in the episode description.